Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records, talking bass playing, talking bass players, talking my favorite 20 bass players. I'm going to probably miss a couple of guys here. These are the guys that I like, both from a musical standpoint and really guys that I like to watch play bass, guys that primarily I've seen play bass. And again, I may do some honorable mentions at the end. Coming in at number 20 from Iron Maiden, bass player, songwriter, Steve Harris. Check out Phantom of the Opera. Check out anything off of their first 10 albums. Peace of Mind, The Trooper, Die With Your Boots On. Steve Harris coming in at number 20. At 19, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Higher Ground, Give It Away, Soul to Squeeze. Just an awesome, energetic player who plays hand in hand with Chad Smith, one of my favorite drummers. Check out my top 50 drummers, I think it was, and my top 50 guitar players. I'll put a link to those in the description below. Coming in at 18, Sting. Of course, famous singer, songwriter, bass player from The Police, Spirits in the Material World, Synchronicity 2, Roxanne, all of his solo stuff that he did, Dreaming the Blue Turtles, Soul Cages, 10 Sumner's Tale, love him. Coming in at 17, Rick Danko from the band. I love the band. And I love the song Makes No Difference. I love the song The Wait. Check out those. By the way, I didn't really include any jazz guys here just because you start going down that rabbit hole with your Stanley Clarks and your Marcus Miller back there with Herbie Hancock. And some of these guys, it's just a different world. I do that on my drummers list, and it just makes for a long list. And coming in at 16, Donald Duck Dunn, Booker T and the MGs, all the session work he did in Memphis with his partner Steve Cropper and his band. Again, Booker T and the MGs. Green Onions, how about that? Bootsy Collins coming in at 15. He was in James Brown's band. He was in Parliament Funkadelic. Check out the song Superbad. Check out the song Sex Machine. Just an amazing player. His brother Catfish Collins on guitar. Check out Bootsy Collins. Coming in at 14 on my list of the 20, my favorite 20 bass players. John McVie. John McVie from John Mayhall and the Blues Breakers, the Eric Clapton lineup. But then, of course, with Peter Green and Mick Fleetwood forming Fleetwood Mac. Just the heart and soul of that band from a rhythm standpoint. That song, The Chain, Dreams, just fantastic. Go Your Own Way, just a infectious, simple, but smooth player. Coming in at 13, Jack Bruce from Cream. The song Crossroads, the song Strange Brew. Check out his album BLT with Robin Trower. Awesome player, awesome bass player and singer. Rest in peace, Jack Bruce. Coming in at 12 from the Meters and the Funky Meters, George Porter Jr. Check out Sissy Strut. Check out Just Kiss My Baby. The Meters, famous kind of funky jam band from New Orleans. About as great of a bass player as you could ever imagine. He's done some work with Phil Lesh and the guys in the Dead. He's worked with Government Mule. He is an awesome singer and bass player. Coming in at 11, famed session bass player from Motown, James Jamerson. He plays the signature bass line on My Girl. I can't play it, but we got a bass here, so let's just amazing player. Coming in at 11, James Jamerson. Coming in at 10, we're at the top 10. A guy that played with a pick and played some really heavy stuff. Lemmy Kilmister coming in at 10 from Hawkwind. And then, of course, Motorhead. Take a listen to the song Overkill, The Bomber, Killed by Death, of course, Ace of Spades. Just incredible player and singer and performer. And the guy you can't take your eyes off of. Coming in at 9, Paul McCartney of the Beatles. Paul McCartney in Wings and a solo career. Just one of the best musicians on this list. A piano player, guitar player, can do anything. Silly Love Songs has a great bass line. The Band on the Run. Really anything off of Abbey Road. She's So Heavy. Just take a listen to all that stuff. Coming in at 8 on my top 20 bass players of all time, Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath. I'm thinking War Pigs. I'm thinking NIB. I'm thinking Neon Knights. I'm thinking Heaven and Hell. Geezer Butler is still out there and is a genius bass player, songwriter, lyricist. Check out Black Sabbath. Coming in at 7 from Talus, from David Lee Roth's first solo band, from Sons of Apollo, and Winery Dogs, Billy Sheehan. Just an amazing, can play with his fingers up here like this. Just really rips through lines. One of the most technical guys on this list. Billy Sheehan. Check out Shy Boy off the Eat 'Em and Smile album from David Lee Roth from 1986. Billy Sheehan at 7. At number 6, Phil Lynott, lead singer, frontman, writer from Thin Lizzy. Check out Emerald. Okay. Check out the Jailbreak album. Check out Romeo and the Lonely Girl. A great singer, again, known for being a great frontman as well, and singing, playing bass, holding down that incredible band with Brian Downing on drums. Coming in at 5, John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin. Some of my favorite tracks, Ramble On. You know, the kind of walking bass line, Communication Breakdown, right? What else do we have? John Paul Jones. Achilles' Last Stand. Just the way he's syncopated with John Bonham. Great rhythm sections, not just made up of a great drummer. You got to have that bass player, and he can play anything. He's famous for sessions that work with Donovan and everybody else. Bex Bolero. John Paul Jones at 5. At number 4, Geddy Lee. La Villa Strangado, Temples of Syrinx, YYZ. Really anything off of their first several albums. Working Man, just, crushing through lines, singing all the way, playing keyboards with his feet. Geddy Lee comes in at 4. At number 3, might surprise some people, Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead and Phil Lesh and Friends. Listen to Cumberland Blues sometime. Listen to Eyes of the World. Listen to his song Unbroken Chain that's off the Mars Hotel album where he takes lead vocals in Box of Rain. Just one of my favorite players. It's really hard for me to see any incarnation of the Dead without Phil Lesh. He's just as important to Jerry Garcia in my mind. The second most important guy in the Grateful Dead, Phil Lesh. Now we're in 2. Who's going to be 2? These guys could interchange at any point, but I'm going to put John Entwhistle from The Who. The Ox is his nickname. Just the most powerful, the glue of that band, The Who. You got a wild drummer who's out of control. You have to have a bass player holding on the bottom. My Generation. Listen to the song The Real Me off of Quadrophenia. Anything off of Who's Next, My Wife, where he takes lead vocals. Boris the Spider. When John Entwhistle passed away in 2002, I believe. I mean, boy, it was hard for me to deal with The Who without a John Entwhistle in the band. My number one bass player, my favorite bass player of all time, is Chris Squire from Yes. Listen to Heart of the Sun Rise. Listen to Starship Trooper. Listen to The Fish. Listen to Gates of Delirium. Listen to Roundabout. He is my favorite bass player of all time. Again, losing Chris Squire in 2015 marked the end of Yes, really for me. The rhythm section that he had with Bill Bruford and with Alan White were as good as it gets in rock and roll. Again, Steve Harris at 25, Steve Harris at 20, Flea at 19, Sting at 18, Rick Danko at 17, Donald Duck Dunn at 16, Bootsy Collins at 15, John McVie at 14, Jack Bruce at 13, George Porter Jr. at 12, James Jamerson at 11, Lemmy at 10, Paul McCartney at 9, Geezer Butler at 8, Billy Sheehan at 7, Phil Lynott at 6, John Paul Jones at 5, Geddy Lee at 4, Phil Lesh at 3, John Entwhistle at 2, and at number 1, my favorite bass player, Chris Squire. Check out the guitar, my list of my favorite guitar players and drummers, and link below. Check out my channel. Peace out. We'll see you.